Today, we have a fun new organic lecture to go through. Let's see, what should we talk about? Look at my notebook. Oh, I think today we should name alkynes. Alkynes are carbon bonds, carbon triple bonds. And in naming them, they're almost similar to like alkanes, alkenes. They have similar properties, you could say, some type of patterns. Alkanes, you end your longest carbon chain with the A-N-E ending. Alkane, so ane, hexane, heptane, butane. And then alkenes, with your double bonds, your ending is going to be hexene, butene. Yeah. Now, with the triple bonds, you have alkynes. So your ending will be with a YNE. So whatever your longest carbon chain may be, say you start off with a hexane, if you have a triple bond in there, your ending is going to be YNE. So it's going to be hexine, heptine, octine. Any one of those will work just fine. Now there's a few things that may be a little bit tricky when naming alkynes. So we'll go through a few examples so we can clarify any questions that anyone could have. We'll start off with a slightly easier one. So we have this compound. Now we look at it and we see that the triple bond is 3 carbons in on the longest part of the chain, and it's 3 carbons out. So the longest chain we have would be a hexane. But since there's a triple bond, the ending would be a hexine. But we'll also have 2 substituents on the carbon 2 and on the carbon 5 over here. So we want to name those 2. So simply this one would be 2,5-dimethyl 3-hexine. Now this one was slightly easy because the triple bond is right in between the 3 and 4 carbon bonds. So you don't really know how to number it if it was farther down the chain or anything like that. So we're going to start off with another example. Shabow. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 as your longest chain. So that would be a butane. Since we have a triple bond, the ending would be YNE, so it's butine. We also have 2 methyls this time, but this time it's on the same carbon. Now, do we start on this end, closest to the substituents on the carbon 2, or should we start on this end, on this carbon 1, and name it from where we see the triple bond? When dealing with substituents in the triple bond, you're going to name it closest to where the triple bond is. That's where your numbering is going to go. Your lowest number is going to go priority to the carbon closest to the triple bond. So we're going to number 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this case, your naming of this compound will be 3,3-dimethyl 1-butine. Yep, I was reading it. Now there's one more tricky part on this compound that I'm going to show you next that would maybe make you think like, oh, it should be easiest to number or easiest to name because the triple bond gets priority in numbering. But what if there's a double bond located the same number of carbons away from one end just as a triple bond is from another end? For example, here we have this compound. The chain longest is 8 carbons long, but 2 carbons in on this end is a double bond, but 2 carbons in on this end is a triple bond. Now you're wondering, why would I have numbered it with lowest priority numbering closest to the double bond? Well, one of the rules for naming alkynes is when you have double and triple bonds and they're same distance away, you want to give priority lowest numbering to the first multiple bond, or the lowest or the double bond. But when it comes to where, if say there was a triple bond 2 carbons away and a double bond 4 carbons away on a 10 carbon chain, you want to give priority to the first multiple bond closest to the first carbon. But here we have them equal distances away, so we're going to number it from 1, 2, seeing how it's closest to the double bond. And it's going to go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So naming this, there's also a tricky name because you have, it's a diene with an alkyne. We're going to name it 2, 4, octadiene 6-ine. That may be a little tricky, so I wrote it out. And I also wrote out the way you wouldn't want to say it or write it out if it was asked on a test or a question. So we have 2,4 octadiene, not 4,6 octadiene 2-ine. Remember, priority goes to the double bond and lowest numbering when it is an equal number of carbons away on one end, as if the triple bond is on the other end. So that's basically the way you name your alkynes. Hopefully you learned anything or something, and I hope I cleared any questions, and I hope this lesson helped. Thank you. Bye.